Nobody announced it with a press conference. Nobody sent out a press release. Nobody made a big deal out of it at all. Somewhere in a boardroom, quietly, without fanfare, one company just placed an order for 370 Tesla semis. Not a pilot program, not a trial run, not a PR move, 370 trucks. Gone electric, just like that. And the reason they did it quietly, because when your competitors find out what this does to your cost structure, you want to already be 3 steps ahead. Diesel's worst nightmare isn't coming. It's already here. Here's what most people miss when they hear a story like this. This isn't about one company going green. This is about one company gaining a cost advantage so large that their competitors may never be able to close the gap. Because the moment 370 Tesla semis start running routes that diesel trucks used to run, the savings don't just add up. They compound. Lower fuel cost, lower maintenance cost, fewer breakdowns, more uptime, faster delivery cycles, and the ability to undercut every diesel competitor on freight rates while still making more profit per mile. That is not a small advantage. That is a structural shift in what it costs to move goods across America. Let me give you the number that makes this order make complete sense. A standard diesel Class 8 truck costs approximately 38 cents per mile to operate. Fuel, maintenance, DEF fluid, oil, repairs, downtime. The Tesla Semi? Independent analysis puts operating costs at 16 to 18 cents per mile. Now do the math on 370 trucks. If each truck runs 100,000 miles a year, which is conservative for commercial freight, that's a saving of roughly $20 per mile multiplied by 37 million miles annually. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in operational savings every single year from one order. Now you understand why they did it quietly, and now you understand why every diesel fleet operator on the planet is watching this very closely. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you who placed this order and why the number 370 is not random. The real-world proof that Tesla Semi delivers on its promises. What this single order signals about where the entire freight industry is heading, and the human side of a disruption this fast and this massive. Let's get into it. Why 370 trucks is not a gamble, it's a calculated business decision. The company placing this order isn't taking a leap of faith. They're making a decision based on data that already exists from real companies running real Tesla semis on real commercial routes. PepsiCo was the first major company to deploy Tesla semis at scale out of their Modesto, California facility. Their trucks completed round trips exceeding 400 miles per day on a single charge, fully loaded, with no fuel stops, no DEF fluid, and no engine maintenance. Every hour a diesel truck spends refueling is lost revenue. The Tesla Semi eliminates those stops entirely. In freight, where time and money are the same thing, that difference is enormous. The maintenance factor, the savings. Nobody talks about a Class 8 diesel truck costs $15,000 to $20,000 per year in maintenance alone. Engine overhauls, transmission repairs, oil changes, cooling systems, exhaust systems. Multiply that by 370 trucks. That's up to $7.4 million in annual maintenance costs just to keep a diesel fleet running. The Tesla Semi has no engine, no transmission, no exhaust system. Industry analysts estimate it reduces maintenance costs by 60 to 70% on a fleet of 370 trucks. That saving alone justifies the transition. 500 miles, fully loaded, the range excuse is over. Critics spent years saying electric trucks couldn't handle real freight routes. The Tesla Semi delivers up to 500 miles of range on a single charge at 80,000 pounds fully loaded. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, over 70% of all freight in America travels less than 500 miles. The Tesla Semi wasn't built to replace every truck. It was built to replace the most profitable ones. Add Tesla's megacharger network, adding 70 miles of range in 30 minutes during a mandatory driver rest break, and there is no operational argument left for diesel on those routes. 370 trucks, 37 million miles a year, and the diesel industry is watching every single one. Prediction number 1. 370 becomes 3,700, then 37,000. This order is not an endpoint, it's a proof of concept with a purchase order attached. Once the operational data comes in, and it will confirm what PepsiCo already proved. This same company will scale, and every competitor watching will face a choice. Start transitioning now, or start losing contracts to someone who already did. Walmart, Amazon, and FedEx are already in the queue. As their electric fleets scale, their per-mile costs will drop to levels no diesel operator can match. The smaller carriers, the ones running thin margins on diesel, will start losing bids, then routes, then contracts, then everything. What starts with one quiet order of 370 trucks ends with the restructuring of the entire American freight industry. Prediction number 2, autonomous freight follows. The electric wave. Electric is only the first disruption. The second one is already being built into these trucks right now. Tesla's full self-driving system is being tested in semi-applications. Highways are simpler than city streets. Predictable lanes, controlled environments, fewer variables. Within 3 to 5 years, we will see driver-assisted long-haul routes where one human monitors multiple trucks remotely. A company with 370 electric semis today is perfectly positioned to activate autonomous capability the moment regulations allow. Their diesel competitors will still be arguing about whether to make the switch. Prediction number 3, the tipping pan. 2 years away, according to most independent analysts. OINT arrives before 2030. The total cost of ownership crossover, the moment where an electric truck is cheaper to buy and cheaper to run than a diesel equivalent, is less than when that crossover happens. The market won't gradually shift. It will flip, the same way it flipped for Kodak, the same way it flipped for Blockbuster, the same pattern. Building slowly, then tipping overnight. That one quiet order of 370 trucks, it's the first domino, and the rest are already lined up. Behind every truck order, there are real people. I want to step back from the numbers for a moment, because every time we talk about fleet transitions and cost per mile and market disruption, we're talking about something that reaches far beyond boardrooms and balance sheets. 370 Tesla semis replacing diesel trucks means 370 fewer diesel engines on the road. That sounds like progress, and in many ways it is, but it also means diesel mechanics whose skills become less valuable with every order like this one. It means fuel stations along freight corridors losing revenue, parts suppliers seeing demand decline, small trucking companies who can't afford to transition watching their margins disappear as bigger players undercut them on price. There are 3.5 million truck drivers in America. Most of them are not worried about one order of 370 trucks today, but they should be paying attention to what this order signals about the next 5 years. Technological transitions don't wait for the workforce to catch up. They move at the speed of economics. And right now, the economics are decisively, overwhelmingly pointing in one direction. That doesn't mean we accept the human cost as inevitable. It means we push hard for retraining programs, for policy that moves as fast as the technology, for companies to take responsibility for the communities their decisions reshape. Because diesel's worst nightmare being here doesn't have to mean a nightmare for the people who built their lives around diesel, but only if we're paying attention, and only if we act before the tipping point, not after. One company, 370 trucks, ordered quietly, no fanfare. But what that order represents is anything but quiet. It's the sound of an industry starting to move. And once this kind of momentum builds, it doesn't reverse. The ripple effects on fuel companies, truck manufacturers, logistics operators, diesel mechanics, freight carriers, large and small, are only just beginning to be felt. If you work in logistics, freight, or supply chain, the window to get ahead of this is narrowing. The companies building electric fleet strategies today will own the cost structures that define the next decade. If you're an investor, the freight electrification story is still in its early chapters. The biggest moves are still ahead, and if you're just someone watching where the world is going, this is one of the most consequential industrial shifts of our generation, and it's already underway. If this video gave you something real to think about, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. Subscribe to stay ahead of the economic and technology stories that actually matter. Drop a comment. Is this the moment diesel freight starts its real decline? Or is it too early to call? I read everyone. I'll see you in the next one.